Thought about leading the education bus tour, going on the John Lennon tour, but I don't think they'll take me on that bus. To the Sequoia High School family, to Principal Hanson and her amazing team. Can I ask all the administrators, teachers, administrators, support staff to please stand up? Let's give them a round of applause. This is a remarkable school. We're thrilled to kick off the bus tour starting here. There's so much going right here. Teachers that care passionately, extraordinary principal leadership, students themselves who are taking their education very, very seriously, a culture of high expectations. And my goal, my dream for the country is to have every student in the nation have a chance to go to a school like this. And just talking to a couple of the students in the room before we started, one of them said very poignantly that while this school is great, too many of our friends go to schools where they're not happy, where they don't feel supported, where they're not getting the education they need. And so our challenge is to make a great education the norm. And we're working as hard as we can to do that. We think each of you has this amazing potential, whether it's as a rapper, whether it's as a doctor, or a teacher, or a public servant, whatever it might be. We collectively want to put you in a position to fulfill your dreams. Principal Hanson talked about students here, many of whom happen to be undocumented. Please keep pushing on your education. I love what California's done. Nationally, we have to pass the DREAM Act. That hasn't happened. That has to be. We as a nation can't afford to keep that talent on the sidelines. We're absolutely crazy on this. It makes no sense. And you guys are the future entrepreneurs, the innovators, the folks who are going to open your own businesses and create jobs. And we need to give you every chance to fulfill your dreams. So I know there's some very, very real obstacles out there. California's taken a significant step in the right direction, but don't stop. Don't get discouraged. And we're going to find a way to make sure you guys and ultimately your brothers and sisters have a chance to get a great, great education. We have to get that done. We're here today to talk about technology, to talk about some of the amazing innovation that's going on here in Silicon Valley. And can we use technology to help increase access to learning, not just 5 hours a day or 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, but 24/7. We're going to have a great, great panel. I'm going to get to that in a moment. But first, I'm going to introduce a good friend and a colleague, Julius Janikowski. Julius is the chairman of the FCC. He'll talk to you a little bit about what they're doing. But if our goal is to create greater access to technology for every single child in this nation, no one is more important for this effort, and no one's been a better partner than Julius Janikowski. So Julius, let me come up and share a few words with you.
Hey, so how you all doing? Can't hear you. Go Ravens. Alejandro and all you artists, just amazing. You know, we're here today to talk about technology and education. And there's no one in the world more passionate than I am about the opportunities of technology for education. And the Secretary has been such a great leader on this and so many other things. But I just have to say, you know, listening to that song and seeing the enthusiasm around it, the opportunities for arts and education, obviously so tremendous, and you see it right here. And I think what we so want to do with all of you in schools over the country is find every possible way to make education in the United States be what it can be for all of our students, all of our parents, all of our teachers. I'm just so grateful to Secretary Duncan for his leadership at the Department of Education. I'm less grateful for his skills on the basketball court, which never turn out good for me, although I've worked very hard to produce a son now who's 20, who's reasonably competitive with Arne, although I'm not sure he would have been if he wasn't a few years younger. Principal Hanson, all the administrators and staff here, I've heard so many wonderful things about this school, and I congratulate you on your incredible work. And I think Arne is going to introduce the panel, but I just want to say that you are going to see in a few minutes three of the most interesting innovators in the space of education and technology. And I think you're going to find that each of them is quite humble, quite soft-spoken, but let me tell you, they are inventing the future every day And I'm just so thrilled that they're here to be part of this. I sort of feel like Alejandro, what's the FCC? Why am I part of this? And let me tell you a minute about the FCC. The Federal Communications Commission is the agency of the federal government that focuses on communications technologies and devices. And so your smartphone, your tablet, your TV, your computer, you think about satellites in the sky, all of the communications between all of those devices, that's what we focus on. And in fact, you probably don't know this, but if you look at the back of your smartphone or your TV or your computer, you'll see our logo right there on it. It's true, we haven't monetized that, but it's true. And so as we started to think at the FCC about the ways that high-speed internet and advances in software can help with education, Secretary Duncan and his great team were thinking about the same thing at the Education Department, and we realized that this was an example where different parts of the government had to work together to achieve the right goals for the country. And that's what we've been doing. I'm going to come back and talk a little bit about the FCC. I'm thrilled to be here at the beginning of Secretary Duncan's bus tour. When I heard that he was starting his bus tour near San Francisco, my first thought was, doesn't he know that the Grateful Dead have already broken up? My second thought was that no one here was going to have known who the Grateful Dead were. But the bus tour, as you know, it's meant to emphasize how education drives American prosperity and competitiveness in the 21st century information economy. And for the past 3 years, that's what we've been working on together to harness the opportunities of wired and wireless broadband high-speed internet, because they're almost limitless. And you begin to get the sense of this. You know, with high-speed internet, a student anywhere can get access to the best information, the best libraries, the best teachers, the best tutors, other students in the world. Anything that's out there in the world, you can get right in your school and beyond your school. Think about digital textbooks, tablets like this and devices that are the next generation of learning devices. First of all, who's tired of carrying around backpacks that have 50 pounds of books in them? Yeah. Right? Who needs that? And how many of those school books, for all our best efforts, are already out of date? And by the way, how many of those school books, when you read them and you get to something you don't understand, let you click on a page and drill down to find out the answer? Or how many of those school books, when you find something that you're really interested in and you want to learn more, let you click on it and drill down to do it? This future is right around the corner. You'll hear about it on the panel. And one of the things that the Secretary and I have worked on together was a goal for the U.S. to move to digital learning devices in the next 5 years, and to invite everyone to this effort, because we want to get it done, but we can't do it without you. Let me tell you about something that you may not have heard of, but that's really important. It's called E-Rate. E-Rate is a federal program that spends about $2 billion a year connecting schools and libraries to the internet. It's actually been a successful program in the sense that when it started about 15 years ago, school connectivity was almost nothing. And today, virtually all schools have internet connections. But we all know that's not enough anymore. And we've been working hard at the FCC to modernize this program for the 21st century, making it easier for schools to use their funds for broadband and to get the best deals in the market for broadband and to light up dark fiber instead of having old, outdated rules that said that they couldn't do that. And we're changing our rules to give schools more flexibility for how to use the computers and the connectivity that they get as part of this program, because you're going to know much better how to maximize the use of technology and equipment and connectivity for your students and for your community. And because we're so excited about digital learning devices, we've started to pilot programs inside E-Rate that will allow the use of E-Rate devices and connectivity outside the schools. Because if you're using a digital textbook, you need to be able to get connectivity not only when you're here, but also when you're home doing your homework. And we have a challenge in this country because too many families don't have broadband at home. I talk to teachers around the country who say, I have got a real challenge because I know I want my students to be doing homework on the internet, using the internet. I want them to develop the skills that are needed in today's economy. I want them to have every chance they can have. But you know what? Half my students don't have the internet at home. What am I supposed to do? If I give out homework assignments and projects that require internet access, I'm leaving those kids behind, and if I don't, then I'm leaving everyone behind. Well, we're committed to tackling that adoption challenge, particularly for students and families. One of the things we've done that I'm proud of is, together with private companies like the cable industry and Microsoft and some others, we've developed an initiative called Connect to Compete. And what Connect to Compete is doing, starting this year, is it's rolling out a new low-cost broadband plan, just $10 a month, to families who have kids on school lunch programs. And if that applies to any of you and you don't have broadband at home, we'll follow up with you and we'll get you into one of these programs, because we want everyone to have a chance. One of the things that we're very focused on is a problem that I'm sure you're all having. So when you use the internet that you have, how many of you get frustrated when your connections drop? A lot of you. And how many of you think, well, it's great that I have internet, but my connections are too slow? A lot of you. And how many think, wow, the more people that use it, the slower it gets. This is a problem. Well, it is a problem. What we have to do is everything we can to make sure that bandwidth is not a constraint on harnessing technology for education. What does that mean? It means that we've all got to work together to make sure that schools like Sequoia have the connectivity that they need, have the big fat fiber pipes into the school, have robust Wi-Fi in the schools. This is not going to be easy because it costs money, but we're going to work together and figure out how to do it. One of the things that we know to be true is that this is not the time for small ideas. We need big ideas to take advantage of these opportunities. We know that in other countries, people are waking up every day thinking about those ideas and implementing them. So let me just close with this. I'm so grateful to be here. I love coming to schools like this. This is a particularly powerful school for me to be at. Mark Zuckerberg was only a few years older than many of you when he invented Facebook in his dorm room. And I bet you that the inventor of the next Facebook or Google or Amazon or eBay is in this room. And when you make it big, don't forget the rest of us. Thank you for having me. Go Ravens, and enjoy the panel.
Now I want to introduce our three panelists. I think they're some extraordinary visionaries. I look forward to having a great conversation with them. Catelyn Tucker. Catelyn's a Google certified teacher and teaches English 9th and 10th graders in Sonoma County. She's also the author of a new book entitled Blended Learning for Grades 4 through 12, Leveraging the Power of Technology to Create a Student-Centered Classroom. Come up, Catelyn. Give her a round of applause.